Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit more today about the subject matter that I opened with you a few days ago, just in regard to your romantic endeavors, and specifically talking about you gaining intimacy with those girls out there you're dating, and quite plainly your this sexuality piece that I believe is a very, very big part of your manhood. Okay, let's be honest. Learning to do this stuff more effectively and efficiently and just in a better manner is part of your development. You becoming that strong, powerful man in this world and in your life. And it's a piece that I don't think any of us can claim that we've completely mastered our entire times as we walk this earth. But certainly there's a learning curve, and there's certainly things that you can do to advance yourself in this realm. And that's just what I'm after today. And like I said, guys, I firmly, strongly, truly believe that this is a large, important element of your manhood. And whether or not you're a guy that you just want to get out there and have some fun and learn how to do this stuff and sow your wild oats and do that kind of stuff, or if you're the type of guy that is after that relationship, or maybe the wife, or the longer term situation, in any effect, you need to wrap your minds around this stuff. You need to get better at this stuff. You need to figure out some of these things hopefully earlier on in your life, as your experience and your I don't know, you'll I think it's part about leading a more healthier life, let's say, when you kind of figure some of this stuff out, or at least you get a handle on it to the point where you can do it a little bit better. Because up until that point, all of us as males, I think, spend a lot of time. We pour a lot of efforts into working on these things, into perfecting these things, into pursuing these things with women. And there's an irony here that you should be out there pursuing your purpose and getting after the world and doing amazing, cool things with your life. But the reality is, a lot of us put a lot of effort into figuring these things out and learning this sexuality piece, or learning how to gain the intimacy that you're after. And so it's a funny thing where the time and the efforts you should be spending on other things oftentimes get tied up in this element here if you haven't kind of cracked the code yet, or figured a few things out. And it's a way that you can kind of spin your wheels in life, as far as I'm concerned. It's an interesting thing to observe, but just for every one of you guys that's listening out there right now, take a pause here and think about how much of your life and how much of your time and your mental efforts and all this kind of stuff you've poured into working on these things, trying to get better. And just imagine, had you put that same effort and time into figuring out other things, like maybe building a business or pursuing a career goal, or just doing anything that's way above and beyond just the sexuality piece in your life. It's an interesting thing to contemplate. I'm not saying there's any right or wrong here. I'm not saying that you're wasting your time trying to figure this out, because, like I said in the beginning, this is, in my mind, a very important piece of being a man in this world. You have to learn this stuff. And if you don't learn this stuff, I don't think you're ever going to feel like a complete man. You're going to leave a lot of experience in life on the table. And I'm sure that you're going to be a frustrated person in general if you don't conquer some of these things. So that's, like I said, the purpose of me talking about this with you guys is not to train you to go out there and be a bunch of dirt bags and just use people and just go crazy, just in this realm. Okay, everything in life is a balance, and this is certainly a place and time where that holds true. But like I said, these are things that I wish somebody equipped me with from a younger point in time. So I feel like I'm trying to communicate with a younger class of guys out here in talking about this stuff. But like I said, the first talk that I did with you guys, it was just some high-level conceptual stuff. And today I want to get a little bit more into some of the strategy and the actual application. And this is going to lead up to just some more talks that I want to have with you guys about those initial stages of dating and the initial way that you pursue intimacy with women. It is strategic, if you want to put it like that. But you have to understand, just the way you go about it, it certainly matters. And there is, I think, some general things that we can all kind of agree on and kind of stick to that are generally going to yield you the results that you're probably after. And then there's other sorts of behaviors that are going to send people running for the hills, and they're just going to leave you frustrated at the end of the day, and nobody likes that. I think both males and females alike would agree with that. That just sours a situation that otherwise might be really good. And a lot of this depends, like I said, on you guys leading the path, walking the path correctly. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is that when you're first getting to know a woman and you haven't been intimate with her, and you're of course trying to lead up to this, I'm sure, right? There's a dichotomy that exists here, and I want to lay that out to you guys. If you go in way too fast, right, you try to advance things too soon, too early, before she's comfortable with you, before you've kind of laid the groundwork, most of the time it's going to run people off. Now, you might have a few instances here or there where you have a crazy situation, you kind of quote unquote get lucky and things transpire. But the irony there is, like, even if you walk that path with a woman, you jump in really quick, you get intimate really fast, maybe on the first date even in some cases, it might be a night of fun, but the odds that is not going to materialize into anything further is probably very high based on what I've seen in life. Okay, so when you go in too hard, too fast, too crazy, like I said, oftentimes you'll get nowhere. This will run people off. This will make you come across kind of like, honestly, like, for lack of a better word, you'll be perceived as a pervert a lot of times. You'll be perceived as a guy that, like, just wants to hook up. You only want to hook up. You're up to no good. You're just using people. You're just that guy. You're just, all those, like, negative connotative things that come along with somebody that jumps in and gets intimate too fast. That's going to be attached to you. And the sad thing is, once you've been cast in that image and in that light, I think in a woman's mind, it's very hard to break out of that, and it's very hard to overcome that. So like I said, you've got to put some head work. Is this a girl that you're just trying to have some fun with right now? Like, maybe you could rationalize that, okay, yeah, just jumping in, having some fun, doing whatever. It is what it is. But if this is a girl that you're sincerely interested in, and you have some inclination that there might be, some sort of future with her, you might want to keep her around a little bit longer, you can't go in too fast, guys. Okay, you shouldn't go in too fast. That's what I've learned. Okay, so you got to keep that stock. So that's one end of the extreme. That's on the front end, right? Going in too hard and too fast. The completely opposite, polar end of that, the other side of that, is moving way too slow. Okay, if you march through this, like, progression of dating and you're not escalating things, and it gets to be honest, like 4, 5, 6 dates in, based on what I've seen, the average way that humans interact, as I've experienced it in life, if you get to that point and you haven't made your moves and you haven't made things happen, you haven't ramped up and led the way into that intimacy, you're going to start to be perceived as a guy that lacks confidence. She's going to start thinking, certainly, that you're not into her, you're not attracted to her, you're not interested in her in that way, or you're just, like, you're too soft, like you don't have the aggressive nature about you, or you don't have that, like, backbone about you, or that confidence, like I said, most importantly, to jump in, to make a move, to make the intimacy happen, to get to that climaxing point, let's say, when you're first meeting somebody. So I hope what I've laid out here for you guys is, like, where you can see, like I said, the extremes on both ends, the going in too hot and heavy too fast, the taking too long. There's definitely this kind of, like, middle grounds that I feel like there's definitely quantifiable evidence. I would say I would pretty much guarantee you that as we progress through this talk, and this is going to come in the next couple of days, most guys out there will agree that there is this window, I would say, between, like, 3 and 4 dates in general, where if intimacy is going to happen, it typically happens in that point of time. Like I said, this isn't everybody, this isn't every situation, but from what I've experienced, from what I've seen in my life, that's kind of like the golden band there, where, yeah, you're ramping up slowly, you're leading into this moment, and then it's like this it's kind of the right time as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and the last thing I'll say, guys, is I know that there's probably a fair deal of folks out there that, if you have an attachment to some sort of religious beliefs, and you're intending to be celibate, let's say, up until the point you get married, I mean, this definitely is not going to apply to you. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, you can just tune this chapter out of the talks here. But for the rest of us, I think this is the average human being. This is the average experience. It's the actual guy experience. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about with you guys is what I've been told by females and what I've seen in action, just the way that things go and the way they react and the way they behave. It follows kind of a pattern, let's say, and that's the part that I'm going to continue to talk with you guys about in the next couple of days. So, like I said, guys, just you have to realize there's that narrow golden band. You want to make something happen in that middle ground of time, let's say. That's theoretically the most optimal thing in my eyes. And then once you've gotten over that initial hump, I mean, there's a whole lot of building that will come after that. And there's like levels and depths of intimacy, of course, that you can reach and attain with people as you get to know them. But I'm just talking about the very first initial stages, guys. This is very important. Like I said, this is part of being a man, okay? Part of your job on this earth is to, and certainly in dating, let's just say, is to lead the way to intimacy, okay? Strange and as funny as that might sound, like I said, there's this taboo nature about it. A lot of people don't want to come forward and talk about this stuff, but you guys need to hear this. You need to understand this stuff, and you need to get better at it, plain and simple. It's part of you being a man in this world, okay? All right, I think I've driven that home enough. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you real soon.